welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I go by the name of Nessa, and make sure to comment, like, and subscribe down below and turn on your bell notifications on so you don't miss a beat when it comes to me. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video we're going to be talking about basically kind of like business tips, things I wish I kind of would have did, things I kind of did, things I didn't do obviously, and just tips and things, yeah, just basically all things business. I'm getting ready right now. I have all of my notes here. So yeah, I'm super excited to kind of talk about this. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, so let's get started. One thing I really want to say is I feel like whatever business you want to go into, it's so important to kind of know the business in and out. It's very important to also be an employee in that field, because you're gonna get the gist of it, you're gonna, you know, kind of know it in and out, you're gonna basically learn about it, learning about the business as well as working it. I feel like for me, I was a barista, a bikini barista at that. I was also a regular barista. I worked as a regular barista at like Starbucks. I think I only did that for like 1 whole year. And then after that, obviously I was a bikini barista, and I was a bikini barista for, I mean, 5-6 years until I became an owner. And I feel like in those obviously years as well, I've been a manager, I've been a top producer, I've, you know, offered to like do certain things like bank runs or inventory, this and that. So I kind of got to learn basically the ins and out about the business, and that is very, very helpful when it comes to running your own, to like actually being a barista, knowing how to make drinks, inventory, all those logistics. I feel like I knew all of that in and out. But one, I will say that was not my strong suit and that I wish I would have done differently is to run an actual business. That's where I struggled a lot. I wish that well, yeah, I do wish, but I feel like that is where I struggled a lot when it came down to like the actual business aspect and, you know, numbers. And I'm like, look at this, you guys, I'm breaking out so bad. But yeah, anywho, so that was one regret that I feel like or that was not one regret, I keep saying regret, it's not a regret, but I just feel like when it came down to that, that was something that wasn't my strong suit. I knew the business in and out as far as, you know, the basics, but when it came to like real business, I feel like that was an area that I kind of struggled a lot in. A really good business tip is obviously being ready to make sacrifices and taking risks, especially when it comes to your own business. Nobody is going to take care of your business the way that you take care of your business. So like, if I don't show up for myself, how can I expect others to kind of show up for me and my business? And I feel like that was you know, being able to obviously sacrifice a lot, not even a lot of your time, 100% of your time, and taking the risk and not being so scared. I feel like one thing for me is I had so many things like going on at once. I won't lie, I was kind of all over the place. My life was like just everywhere. Like, in me, I'm just the type of person who wants to do so many things at once. Like being a mom, I was trying to do real estate, I was trying to do this, I was trying to do that. I'm just the type of person, like, I always have to kind of be on go, and I just want to do 10 different things. I don't know why. And that's why I had to kind of take a break from real estate. I had to take a whole year off of real estate because I couldn't just do it all. I couldn't run my business full-time alone at that, and also do real estate and then be a full-time mom on top of that. It was just so hard for me. So being able to sacrifice 100% of your time into your business and just pour into your business is so important. You know, obviously they say, like, that saying, your new life will cost you your old life, is so It's so true. And I feel like in the very beginning of when I did have my business, I did put 100% of my time into it, but as time progressed, it made it really harder for me to want to be, or like kind of want to focus on my business full time, just because I had so many like things going on. And it's not that I wasn't 100% invested into my business, but I just had so much going on that I let outside things kind of affect my mental and certain things. And I feel like when I get in that mode, I get very like kind of like a I don't care type of mode. And as for me, that was really hard and bad. I had a million things going on at once, so being able to try to kind of break out of those old habits and schedules, you have to be willing to truly be able to change all of that. Change all of your habits, make your business your main priority. I feel like as for me, I did make my business my main priority. I had other responsibilities and priorities as well, that it was kind of hard for me to do certain things, if that makes sense. Really good thing is taking the time to truly set aside like time for your business and learning about your business. Being open-minded to always wanting to grow and be a student. Another thing is taking the time to just really focus like on my business in different ways. And what I mean by that is just I always put a lot of my time into like focusing on my employees and the baristas and just what was in front of my face, rather than like focusing on like the back end of my business when it came down to like marketing and my brand. I felt like I was always so focused on, you know, the girls and making sure like they showed up on time, making sure they were doing this and that correctly, rather than like, or not even rather than, I feel like I put so much of my focus into that, and that was just like my main focus of things, when I should have been doing more when it came to like my actual business and my brand. So I did have my own coffee beans, and that was called Queen's Coffee, and I didn't really do much with it. I feel like with that, I definitely should have did more. I didn't really focus on my brand as much as I should have on like actual Bella V latte and Queen's Coffee. I feel like especially with me having my own coffee bean brands and having that should have been an advantage to my business. And I felt like that I should have just did more, because honestly my coffee beans were good as fuck. I felt like I should have did more with that. I feel like I could have did more with that, because obviously I could have did more when it came to just, you know, putting myself out there, like putting my brand out there. Like I feel like that was one thing that I wasn't doing. And now that I have sold my business, I'm just kind of looking at like, you know, the pros and cons, you know, the things I wish I would have did and didn't do. Obviously, I mean, as a business owner, first-time business owner, you're learning every single day, and so I try not to be so harsh on myself, but like you're learning every single day. This is still a new ballpark for me at the end of the day, because I was always a worker and not an owner. So I feel like regardless, this was something new for me. I really took in the actual time to really just research on like the business aspect itself, like how to kind of run a business, what comes with obviously owning a business and certain things like that. That was one thing that, like, as for me, I was just like, you know what, I know this business in and out because I've been doing it for so many years. But once I really got into that role, like I said, of being a business owner, it was different. And I feel like I didn't really research much of it. Honestly, I really didn't. Like, before I owned my business, I didn't really research much of it, just because I've had other businesses, but I just didn't really do my research. And I feel like that's one thing that I could have done more, is researching the aspect of what it's like to be a business owner and how to be a business owner. You know, there's so many free tools and out there, as far as like free tools in the sense of just like on YouTube and, you know, TikTok, and learning how to do things, just researching regardless. That was one thing I didn't do a lot of. I just kind of focused on like, well, this is what I know, so this is just how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to run my business because this is what I know. I feel like I should have been more of like an open book, and I should have spent a lot more time just like researching. You know, one thing I really didn't have expertise in was like, you know, taxes. Learning about all the taxes you have to pay when it comes to a business. That was one big thing that I didn't really understand and know too well. Taking like an hour or two out of your day to work on your business, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's one thing I'm learning like in real estate right now, is real estate is also my own business. I have to literally, in order for my real estate business to grow, I have to pour my time into that. In order for me to be successful, in order for me to succeed, I have to spend my time into real estate. And I feel like that is another thing that I'm also kind of obviously learning, you know, picking up new skills, learning new things, learning new ways to do things. I feel like not being stuck in that mindset of just, you know, not stuck in that mindset of not wanting to like grow or learn how to do something different. I know like there's that saying like, why fix it if it's not broken? But sometimes you might find better. You might find a better way to fix that problem. I wish I would have did more. I wish I would have put a lot more like focus into it, but honestly that's like the main reason why I did sell my business, just because I no longer had the time for it. I no longer had the time to do certain things, and I just felt like that is, you know, obviously why I sold, because I do dibble and dabble into a lot of different things, and it was making it hard for me to just focus on my actual coffee business when I'm also wanting to do, you know, be a real estate agent full-time, when I wanted to this and that full-time. So if you can focus on one thing and put your full energy and time into that, like, do it. Like, I highly suggest you do it. So another business tip is I feel like really focusing and taking the time to focus on your numbers. Focusing on your numbers as far as when it comes to like, you know, your net cost, your gross cost, your, you know, variable cost, you know, fixed cost, this, that. For me, I had a bookkeeper slash, you know, an accountant. So one thing I will say is I didn't really look at my numbers, and I did not focus on my numbers. I was always just so in tune of what was right in front of me, like, you know, at my business, rather than like the back end of it. I didn't really focus on the back end too much, and I feel like that is definitely a really good business tip to kind of keep in mind, because when you focus on your numbers and you look at your numbers and you know your numbers, I feel like obviously it's not a bad thing to not like know. I feel like that is definitely a really good thing to obviously know your numbers, know like what you're generating, because I mean it's just so you can kind of keep, you know, certain things in the back of your mind as well. Truly generally know what is going on with your business. I didn't really focus on like that part of it. I just focused on everything else that I wish I would have actually also focused on my numbers and focus on that type of thing. Real cost that I knew of certain things and numbers wise was my inventory. That I knew like to the T, because I was doing my inventory myself. So I knew, so I mastered that part of it when it came to the numbers. But if I would have just taken the time to really focus on my other numbers and master that, I think I would have handled running my business a little bit better, because I obviously know what was going on when it came to inventory and certain things like that. I knew exactly how much I needed. I knew how much I needed like my sales to be in order to make this much and that much. I knew how much, you know, milk was going to be. I knew how much what this and that was going to be. I was always looking at revenue and not looking at the other numbers, if that makes sense. I was just looking at, okay, I know this is what's coming in, but I wasn't really so focused on what was going out. And I feel like I just kind of left that part to my accountant, and it just doesn't hurt to be on that side of the end, to like know exactly what the fuck is going on with your business and how it's going on with your business. Another good business tip is a little bit about this earlier, about when it came to like branding. I wish I would have just like hired some like a branding like consultant or like a marketing consultant. I could be a little stubborn and hard-headed sometimes, and honestly you guys, it wasn't even that. Like I feel like as time kind of progressed, I probably would have, you know, started to kind of make changes in my business, but I kind of was at that point, like I said, in my life where, okay, what do I want to do as far as like, you know, with the business, and how far do I want to take this and everything else, like how much time do I truly have for this? And I feel like that was one of my main reasons why I sold, was just because I couldn't, you know, put that 100% into my business the way that I should have. But I feel like hiring like a branding consultant or a marketing consultant would have definitely helped a lot, because if you don't have eyeballs on your business, if you don't have eyes on your business, how can you grow? You know what I'm saying? I felt like I just always focused on like who was already showing up, rather than like who could possibly also show up. You know, you got to think about it. I feel like your biggest supporters are strangers, like especially people that don't know you. They're gonna support you down to the T. I wish I would have the only thing was I was focusing on was just marketing my business through like Instagram, but not really marketing my business through Instagram. Like I was marketing like the girls, and I wasn't really pushing out the actual brands of like having, you know, like of coffee. I wasn't really pushing out the brand. And I feel like when you're able to market and push out both things, your business will grow obviously 10 times more. You could generate more income. There's always ways, like there's more than one way to make money. So I feel like I was always just focused on like posting the girls, but not like, I could have did more. Like I could have been posting like the coffee drinks. I could have been, you know, like especially on like TikTok, I could have did more on TikTok as far as doing like these funny, like, you know, funny skits and certain things like that. You know, I feel like that, and that comes with knowing your audience, and or you know, just having just putting more eyes on your business. I feel like that's one thing that I wasn't doing, was putting more eyes onto my business. I feel like even though like I honestly, one thing, I am really good when it comes to social media, but when it just came to my business, I feel like maybe I was a little bit more afraid, just because it wasn't like a regular coffee stand, so I felt like I couldn't do more. But honestly, I really could have. Like there's no excuses, and I felt like that was one thing I was kind of doing, was making excuses for myself. So as you know, someone that's wanting a business, that is definitely a business tip that I would recommend, is hiring a consultant or like a brand manager. I know I kind of said it in my last video, is I wish I would have like hired an actual manager who had like a managing background to really truly help me, like kind of, yeah, like truly help me learn how to run the business, rather than just like hiring like a barista. I only had my business for a year and a half until I actually actually decided to sell it. And a lot of it wasn't because my business failed. Mainly talking about things that I wish I would have did, or wish I would have done sooner rather than later. I feel like towards the end I was wanting to do these things, but I did have to make that decision, a decision of, do I have time to focus on my coffee stand? Do I have the time to really just buckle down and focus? And what do I want to do? Like honestly, being a business owner and being a real estate agent was hard. I couldn't do both, because I was always so tired, and I was always so like overwhelmed when it came to like, you know, with the coffee stand, with putting my time into it. I got overwhelmed easily, and I got tired easily, because I was pouring so much time in that I didn't have time to pour into another business. So I feel like, even let's say like I kept my coffee stand, and then I go focus on real estate full time, and then what about my coffee business? It's kind of like I didn't get to that point where, you know, it can run itself. There's nothing wrong with just realizing like, hey, this no longer serves me and this no longer is, you know, suiting me. And my coffee stand was successful, and I am so blessed and so thankful for being able to really experience that and go through the things that I did, because it really did teach me a lot as well about me as a person. Like you said, I mean, like I said, I was learning new things every single day about me, about the business, about patience, time management, and everything. That's another thing that's really important, is having that time management. Like I said, you guys, you have to be able to truly be able to risk it all and sacrifice everything, like your time, everything, especially being a small business owner. And if you're going to do it on your own like I had to do, I feel like if I would have had a little bit more help in certain areas, I definitely feel like my business could have definitely scaled to another level. I was kind of like in a position where I felt very comfortable and content because my business was doing well, that I was just like, you know what, I'm doing good, this is doing good, so it is what it is, you know. But I feel like it just kind of like what they say, like you really do need a village to kind of do certain things. Just like, you know, you really need a village to raise a child or certain things like that, but you also really need a village to also, like, you also need a village to truly grow your business. It is really hard doing things on your own, and I feel like people don't understand that, how hard it is to just truly run your business on your own and then have so many other things going on at once. And I felt like for me, that's just kind of what it was. But yeah, so the just main business tips I will say is really taking the time to also just always learn about your business. You know, just sitting on YouTube for an hour in a day and just learning new business, you know, new business tips and tricks. I feel like it doesn't have to even be down to specific of what your business is. Like me, coffee, like it doesn't just have to be like, oh, business tips and coffee. Like just learning just business tips in general, I feel like is really huge. And also just really getting to know your business. But anyways, my camera's about to die, you guys. I will try to kind of drop I might drop another video, we'll see. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my business tips. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment down below. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one.